Hello there. So last week you might remember I did a little video on what Lego minifigures I'd like to see return and Lego to perhaps update and give new molds and new designs for. So be sure to check that out before this video, as I'll not be including any characters that Lego have already created. And today we'll be looking at what new Star Wars characters I'd like to see in Lego form. First up, he's featured in The Mandalorian. He nearly had his own show, Rangers of the New Republic, and he's also shown up now in Ahsoka. It is Carson Teva, and I mentioned recently when I reviewed the annual that Lego perhaps may be coming out with a new X-Wing in the new year. Now, this isn't based on any rumours and is just pure speculation from my half, as Lego always tend to have an X-Wing released at some point, and with the new one retiring December 31st alongside the TIE Fighter. And again, if you're interested in any sets that are retiring, go check out my video. I cover literally all of the ones that could be retiring. But that leaves a gap for a new X-Wing, and what beats the Red 5 original trilogy Luke's X-Wing than perhaps an X-Wing pilot who has featured so heavily in all the new material that, again, like the original trilogy, Lego do like to cover with all the Mando and Ahsoka sets that come out whenever the new series releases, compared to the one set on Andor. And I think Carson Teva would be the man for the job, as well as a few of the other directors that have starred as X-Wing pilots. Perhaps they can have a cameo minifigure, which would be a cool addition to the set. But I would love to see Carson Teva's X-Wing exactly how we see it on screen. And perhaps for the next wave of Ahsoka sets, we can hope that we get something like this, as again, we always have an X-Wing on shelves, so why not replace Luke's with another crucial pilot for the New Republic? And we have seen in a few years, especially when the sequels were coming out, Poe's various X-Wings that blow up every movie and he gets a new one the next. But we've already had them, we've had the Red 5 so much, and the recent one has nothing wrong with it. But they also have Luke's UCS X-Wing, so they wouldn't want to repeat themselves. So I put Carson Teva forward and would love to see his X-Wing in Lego form. Another minifigure I think we deserve is Axe Woves. I so thought he was going to be the minifigure that would come in that Mando Imperial fight pack, but we got the other commander instead. So I definitely want them to revisit and not only give us Axe Woves, but also Koska Reeves. Now, if you've seen any of my minifigure collections or my video just over a week ago when I added my minifigures to my display unit, you'll know that I have indeed took it upon myself to make a custom Kosta Reeves minifigure, and it looks good, but it's definitely not up to the Lego standard of minifigures, and would look great if we got a new molded Mandalorian, and especially with the helmets of her and Axe alongside all the other Mandalorians we yet to see in minifigure form. It'd just be great to get another Mandalorian to add to our collection. Whilst we're on the topic of side characters, B2 Emo, and in fact I'm going to merge this with L3 from the Solo movie. They are both my character number 4 that I'd love to see in Lego form. It is a shame we only got one Andor set. I'd love to get a smaller set with Andor and B2 Emo, as well as some Imperial guards or even the guards we see in the series. B2 Emo would be great to see in Lego, especially with a custom mold that they'd no doubt have to give him. I wouldn't mind if B2 was more on the BD scale that we've seen of the two BD droids, but we know that B2 Emo would be blown up to perhaps R2D2 size, which is definitely not to minifigure scale. But either way, I'd just love to have seen B2, and I'm so surprised we didn't get an L3 minifigure. I know, again, for both these droids there are customs out there, so all you have to do is type it into Google and you'll see just how many people have took it upon themselves to create their own droids. And Lego could have hopped on this and given us them in a set. Perhaps even another droid battle pack where we get various droids such as B2, L3, and perhaps even dip our toe into Legends with a next droid, HK-47. I think this would definitely rival the Revan when it comes to which one we could get in a polybag celebrating KOTOR's remake. But HK is one of my favourite droids of all time, and It squares up to the likes of R2-D2, who is a staple to Star Wars, as I just loved playing this game as I grew up. HK is another droid much like the TX and much like Huyang should have got, as HK would deserve his own unique mold, and perhaps not even his own mold, as he could use the torso, arms and legs of the Geonosian B1 battle droid, but he'd definitely need a custom head to go along with the rest of him just to make him HK-47. Now, we might not even get HK-47 exactly, as we could get droid minifigures of the HK units we see in Ahsoka, and I'm sure many people would be painting them up or custom moulding their own to resemble HK from the KOTOR games. And it's just another character I think would be great to see in LEGO form. Now, whilst we've got a focus of the games, I'd also like to bring up Cal Kestis, again another minifigure that I have made my own custom character for. However, especially with the third game coming out, I think LEGO could have a polybag of Cal Kestis alongside a re-release of BD with a trilogy bundle or something, just to entice people to buy the trilogy. Not that they need it with a Jedi franchise, but something nice for collectors to collect. And I'd just love to see Cal Kestis in LEGO form. I know I say a lot about polybags with games, but these polybags could even be given out on May 4th. Like they used to with all the minifigures we used to get. We went through a phase of getting Kessel Mine Workers, but none of that. We could get some main characters like Cal, HK, Revan, and even Starkiller, Galen Merrick. Now, Star Wars fans at the minute are going crazy to see Starkiller in any content. I mean, fans even believed that Marok could have been Starkiller, and that was well and truly a possibility up until recent, when they killed off Marok and we found out it was just some Night Sister magic keeping this old Inquisitor alive. And for all we know, it could have been the ashes of Kanan that they'd stuffed to make this puppet, which is a bit out there, but it definitely isn't Starkiller, which is a shame. However, this should not stop LEGO making a Starkiller minifigure, as they have touched more of this Legends material before. In LEGO sets, we've got some Old Republic sets to show for it. And once every so often, it'd be nice to see, especially with next year being the 25th anniversary of LEGO Star Wars, they could touch back to these Legends sets and bring in one to put all of them to shame, including characters like Starkiller or the previously mentioned ones. And now we'll take our eyes away from all the games, all the Legends material, and go to a character that they really haven't explored enough. And whilst we do have, I think, at least 4 different outfits for Padme, there are so many more that LEGO could touch on. I mean, I've seen people recently take Agatha's new Marvel minifigure series, Torso and Legs, and use that to create a custom figure of Padme, as it so well resembles one of the outfits she wears, I believe, at the start of Attack of the Clones. But looking at this image I'll put on screen for you now, there is just so many costumes that they really haven't touched. I mean, we've got the peasant design from Tatooine and the throne room gown, and that is all of Phantom Menace. We also have a similar design to the pilot disguise, which is more of the Clone Wars style that we see her wear in the Clone Wars, and that is featured in the Coruscant gunship. And then of course we have the Geonosis outfit, but besides that I don't think we've seen any other designs. And let me know in the comments if there are any other Padmes I've missed, but I think that's the only 4 costumes we've got. And someone that has a new costume in every single scene of Star Wars, you'd think they'd have a few more different minifigures, but I'd definitely like to see some of these designs come to LEGO in the near future. I know I mentioned about the droid battle pack earlier, but in all fairness, we could get a Padme battle pack and just include 4 different costumes. They could do a complete minifigure series just based on Padme's costumes and have 12 different designs that you can pick at random, though I think a load of people would just be buying the boxes to make sure they get all 12. Either way they do it, I just want to see more Padme costumes, as there's so many good ones that we are yet to get. And speaking of variants, we've already had the X-Wing pilots at the start, but one in particular I'd love to see is Trapper Wolf. Now this would be less for a playset such as an X-Wing playset, and would be more for either a battle pack with a few different pilots and miniature X-Wings, just to honour those creators behind shows like The Mandalorian, with all the different directors and producers as their pilot forms in minifigure size. However, I think this figure is more suited, just like the next one, to the upcoming Visual Dictionary, especially with his new promotion to creative director and creativity being at the heart of the LEGO team. And also all the work he's been doing of recent, he's been jumping across shows like nobody else, and I think it would be great to honour his legacy by creating a Trapper Wolf minifigure. And speaking of legacies that need honouring, I don't have to tell you who the next minifigure is. It is, of course, George Lucas himself in Papanoidea form. Now, of course, we could see, say, a stormtrooper with his face, but I want them to go full out for Lucas and put Papanoidea in the Visual Dictionary. Now, it's not the easiest name to say, however, I would like to see this minifigure pop up, as his daughter, the Senator Chi Ikwe, did play a big role in the Bad Batch, and I suppose still will in the final season, in fighting for rights for the clones and, more importantly, a retirement plan, as she was saved during the Clone Wars after she was kidnapped. Just generally, I think Lucas putting himself into Star Wars was great, and there's not many minifigures we haven't received from recent content. So unless they give Chewie a medal in the new Visual Dictionary, I think branching out to one of the creators like Filoni, like Lucas, and even Kathleen Kennedy, and giving her a minifigure would be an awesome idea for LEGO. So let me know down in the comments who you'd like to see that we haven't before, or like with Padme, any costumes you'd like to see that LEGO are yet to give us. Now, I haven't mentioned any of the clone commanders, as I technically included them under Wolfie in my last video, so go check that out if you haven't already. But do be sure to let me know if there's any clones as well that you'd like to see in LEGO form that we haven't seen yet, either in Phase 1 or Phase 2 armor. And of course, drop a like if you like this video, and subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss any awesome LEGO content. And as always, may the bricks be with you.